Let's go to the communities now and tell you what is happening on the river Ankobra, the level of devastation as a result of Galamsey.
This is the Ankobra River here in the Nzima East municipality of the Western region, and I'm currently sitting on a boat here in a community called Yoso, and I will be very much disembarking at another community within the same municipality called Akango. What is so special about this Galamsey, anti-Galamsey operation taking place today is that we have the sector minister, Emmanuel Amakofi-Boa, today sitting in this very boat wearing the white cap, joining us in this very operation with the officials from the NIMOS, making sure that they patrol this very Ankobra River to rid it of any of the illegal activities that we've been seeing. I mean, look at the water shows that it is that bad. Basically, the whole exercise is to make sure that he sees what is actually on the ground when it comes to the fight against illegal mining that is actually polluting this very river here in the Western region. We've been told that we'll be riding for not less than, 50 kilometers from here in Awaso, in the Nzima area, all the way to Akango, also in the Nzima area, where we'll be disembarking. But for now, we have the minister's boat right behind us, making sure that he also play a critical role in this very first-hand operation.
After over an hour of patrol on the Ankobra River, with devastation being caused by these illegal small-scale miners, the minister and his entourage actually stopped at a community called Chinatown, a community which is basically made of makeshift structures that's used to host a Galamsey operated by Chinese. Upon their exit, the place has been taken by locals who are inhabiting the place and also doing this Galamsey, polluting the same Ankobra River. The minister, whose tour was not on a mission of destruction, spoke with them and also advised them that if they really want to do small-scale mining, the ministry has its doors open to actually help them engage in proper mining.
Galamsey na moyen. Say insuo na Ankobra no. Won say na nani aye. Poison. Enu na ye huhuru mo bia no mo Ghana. Nti mo ha ma betran. Kunkrofo. Eni say mo the chemicals nyina agum. Na yamba say ye be say obia na ye ba say ye be ka chom say President Mahama say efinda mabaha minister mabaha mikoi mo amoti Ankobra no ne rivers e wo Ghana ha kase ni nyina memba ka kire mo say time na so say some person mo ye mining na ye be kire mo kwan ya boa mo ya mamo niema mo de beye a friend cooperative mining baby a rock ni a kire mo se ne mo ya ense nsuo ense asase. We
actually set off on this patrol on the Ankobra River around 10 a.m. and as I speak, we've gone past 12 midday and we're still counting numerous platforms used by this Galamsey. As you can see over here, we have a lot of it all spread along the banks of the river. I'm told by the officers you see behind me, anytime they come, they see some, they destroy it, but it doesn't take long for them to actually come back here.
The people who are doing this have declared war on the people of Ghana, period. They are not simply looking for gold. They've decided to completely decimate the Ankobra River. And they don't care what happens to anybody else. This is one more reason why we have to put our money where our mouth is. And I hope I can bring the Minister of Finance, my good friend, here to understand that we need to mobilize all the security forces to stay here permanently because we are at war.
The minister also had issues with some small-scale miners who have been licensed and plying their business not far from the river, also polluting the river, just as the Galamseyers.
As you could see, almost every side of the river had been taken over by illegal miners. Makeshift accommodation, which means that thousands of people are still active engage in illegal mining. And what is sad is that you could see that they are basically mining close to the water and then basically discharging all those chemicals in the water, pumping it out and discharging it in. That's really the modus operandi. What was even shocking was that the Minerals Commission and the EPA somehow have also given licenses to some mining companies. I think effective immediately. Those guidelines that says that 100 meters from the water bodies must change. I think it has to be 1 kilometers far away. That is if there's a need to even give any concession at all.
Western Regional Minister Joseph Nelson, who also joined the patrol today here in the Zuma East municipality on the Ankobra River, is also raising issues with the conduct of the Minerals Commission, who are actually basically looking on for this devastation to happen, as well as the need for the chiefs to also play their role.
It comes to the issue of commitment. Trust me, I mean, we've been doing this, and you are aware, we've been doing this long before Naimo came in. And I think that we have to scale it up by bringing real presence, a base that will comb this place 24/7. I believe that will make some difference. And I also think that the chiefs around here, look, we cannot take them out. I'm sad to say, but I think that the chiefs around here, they have a responsibility because we hear things, we know things. Usually it's almost like it's a sensitive area to go, but I think that where we are, if we are really serious about curbing this, then any and everybody who has a role to play in this be brought on board.
For ChannelOne TV.
So that is the state of the Ankobra River, or the River Ankobra. It's become muddy as a result of illegal mining activities that is happening in that river body, or that water body. Joining us is the Western Regional Minister Joseph Nelson to have more conversations with us on this. Hello, Nabo, good morning.
Morning.
I trust you are doing well.
God has been merciful.
So besides, or apart from what our cameras could capture, this as you embarked on the tour or the inspection exercise, what more can you tell us about the level of devastation on the River Ankobra?
Yeah. I believe that your cameras did well. I mean, for most of the illegal things happening there, I think that they were captured. But there's also temporal structures littered along the banks of the river, and it's not one, it's not two, many of them. And these are the places where those engaged in this wicked and illegal activities hide, to ply their trade, simply going on the water and destroying it in the way we see it on our screens. You see, there's a shot we saw, and that is very, very significant. You saw some discharge into the water, and that is what has been happening. Direct discharge, I mean, live one that we saw happening right before our very eyes. So it's really, huge. This challenge we have is huge because it's been going on for years, and it appears that the whole place has been taken over by these miners. And I'm happy that we could go on the river to really get to appreciate the magnitude of the challenge and to understand the modus operandi of these guys, and to see how together we can deal with it.
Help us understand communities along this river, and which of these communities heavily depend on the Ankobra River?
Well, I think that all of them depend on it. All the communities, we have Akango, we have Hirarioso, Tumentu, Eshiem. I mean, the communities, the Jura area. So we have Nzema East for better appreciation of the issues. Nzema East is a municipality. It's also a constituency, but the constituency name is different from the name of the municipality. The constituency is called Evalue Ajomoro Jura. So to indicate that we have these three significant what do you call it, paramountcies, in there. And so the Evalue area is the Axim and its immediate environs. And the Jura area is where we have the Ankobra really, the Ankobra's presence. And so the whole of the Jura area is also where this illegal activity is predominant. Okay? So all these communities that are in the Jura area depend on the Fra River, for their, survival. I mean, yesterday as we traveled on the river, we saw some of the community people fishing. I mean, look, just imagine the turbidity of this river, and imagine fish, that comes out of this river, and how wholesome this fish could be. I mean, just imagine it, whether this fish will be wholesome or not. And so they depend on it. They've been dependent on this river for many years, I believe. And even these guys who have been doing illegal mining really depend on the Fra. Yesterday, somebody told me that they fetch the water and they put what we call alum, something into it, and then it becomes clear, and then they drink. Can you imagine that? And so it's important that we get a grip on this matter, so that not just for the communities there, but for some bigger benefits to society. Because I think that we could use this for river. We could have tourism, tourist attraction. If this river is restored to its original state, I mean, a whole lot of things could happen, along the river, and for I think for the benefit of all of us in this region. All
right, Honorable. So as you went to this area, were you able to meet any of the culprits? And if you did they really understand why this is important to embark on?
Well, if you saw the pictures, you will realize that the minister engaged, and all of us engaged a certain, I don't even know how to call them, the community, all of these, the people who have put temporary structures at the banks of the river. I think we met a group, also stationed or who live along the banks of the river, and the minister had a word with them. If you saw the video, you realize that there was some engagement with some people, a group, and then so he spoke to them about the need to really move out of there, because very soon, very, very soon, every structure along that river will be pulled down. That will be another day.
Right.
But that warning was given them so that they will get themselves prepared. Why we didn't act when we got there? We saw children, and so on humanitarian grounds, and given that place was not the only settlement, as you want to describe it, along the banks, we felt that we should have a special day where all of these structures, illegal structures along the banks of the river, could be taken down. And so he had to speak to them in that manner so that they could understand.
Okay, Honorable, and before we came on the line to talk to you, we saw a footage of you where you said that, I mean, you've been fighting this issue for a very long time, but sometimes when the topic comes up, it's said to be a sensitive matter and, you know, it's sort of swept under the carpet again. Has it stopped being a sensitive matter at this moment?
Well, why I said so, it's not because we are unable to do. I was specific about who and who must come on board to effectively deal with this matter.
Right.
You see, as we have it, I don't think that anybody in Ghana, nobody goes to, you know, basically dwell on a certain portion of land without having some questions asked by the owner of the land, you know. So it beats my mind how all these people are there, and then the custodians of the land, the chiefs, you know, who own the land, I mean, are unable to do anything about it. Of course, we know that in some instances, but let me say in most cases, it's the chiefs who give out the land, use of land to these people who go and mine. And so all I was saying is that chiefs have a certain important role to play, and that we shouldn't shy away from, you know, saying it as it is. That is simply the point I was trying to make. That look, I mean, it's long overdue. We have to basically name, I mean, all those who have some responsibility in this matter to really sit up. And well, we have been doing our part. We've been going on the river for the first time. I mean, we started going on the river, and that is how come all the structures you saw sitting on the river, you know, all these machines, I don't know, I mean, they are manufactured, in fact, by welders who live in communities along the river. So that is where these structures are manufactured. This metal, I don't know how to describe them, that, you know, they put on the river and mine basically, you know, from the bottom of the river, you know. So all those ones, before we got there today, in fact, because we've been going on the river, all of them basically have been destroyed. All of them, with their machines that sit on them, all of them bent. And so yesterday we were even thinking about how to take these off the river, because it's also, you know, a source of pollution kind of. Initially the idea was that they should sink, but they should be sunk so that it goes down to the bottom of the river. But I think that's also going to present some, you know, huge challenge for travel by canoes and other boats on the river. So the idea is to take them on the river. So some activities have gone on the river, you know, over time. But I think that to really get a grip on it, where the water is restored to, you know, some expected levels, the original level, that where the turbidity is, you know, really reduced for human consumption and for some other activities. We need to really get everybody who has some role to play to come on board so that we're able to deal with it. But we'll continue to do our job as expected. Of course, the minister responsible for that sector has also really come to appreciate what happens around there. Yesterday was an eye-opener to I believe, to all those who were part of the team that visited or that traveled that portion of the river. And so that should inform some new direction in the coming days.
Mr. Minister, you keep saying in the coming days, soon, and all that. Isn't there like a deadline or a timeline that you used to embark on this exercise and to crack the whip or to get the issue resolved once and for all? And you also made mention of the fact that looks like this isn't the first time you are embarking on this battle. Do you think that there are unknown faces behind that in a way must be dealt with severely to put an end to this canker?
So yes, we've been going on the river, but question is about capacity. The question has been, as security, the head of RECSEC in the region, we mobilize, we get the Navy, we get the boat. If you realize, we use a local canoe, if you've seen the pictures, okay? Because initially, the naval boat we were using couldn't do the job. Okay, so we had to use, this local boat, if we can call it that. And so we went there from time to time. So, and these miners, they know that when we go for an operation and we return, it takes maybe another month to go back because of resource constraints and things like that. Okay, so they go back. Now, that's why yesterday in my statement I emphasized that we need to really, really have a base in the area, a military base or whatever security presence we need to have there, permanent, until the issue is resolved, so that constantly we have a team combing the length and breadth of the river, and then also others who be on the banks on the other side, making sure that nobody does any illegal things there. The other point is also that it is not just the military presence. We have a regulator, the Minerals Commission. The Minerals Commission, I think, must also be up and doing. The whole area in Zuma East, Ahanta West, Pristia, Mpoho, and some other places are also suffering the effect of these illegal activities. But you will realize that the presence of MINCOM is only in Takwa. And they are unable to really monitor what is going on within the environment, within this space. Even for those companies that have been given licenses by MINCOM, I think that they struggle to monitor their activities. And yesterday we observed some interesting, scenarios, interesting pictures along the bank where we're told that, this company is a registered company, but we clearly saw the activities very close to the river. And so if MINCOM had a presence and was closely monitoring, we could avoid some of these situations.
Okay.
So it's not just the presence of the military, but I think that MINCOM, like I kept saying earlier, everyone who should be drawn into this fight must be brought into the picture, so we're able to deal with it effectively. But the key thing is that we now fully appreciate the scale, because until we traveled on the river, we went for operations on the river, on the land, but going on the river yesterday really brought home the picture that we needed to see.
So it was actually an eye-opener. Okay.
Yes, definitely. Definitely for myself and the sector minister.
Good,
I think that things are not going to be the same.
Good. Honorable, thank you so much for your time. We'll keep knocking at your doors anytime issues of this nature come up, and we'll be following up keenly what your outfit will be doing, since you are the regional minister for the Western region, and also what the government is doing in that particular region to fight illegal mining. So you just heard there Joseph Nelson, who is the Western Regional Minister, talking extensively to us on what is happening on the river Ankobra. And he actually called on the Minerals Commission to do the needful, to step up their game and do what is expected of them. You wouldn't be able to, you wouldn't just sit in the office without doing anything. Go out there and get the job done. Chris, I think that this is a very serious issue that has to be sort of dealt with once and for all, because we've seen things of this nature. Ministers will go to these sites, inspect, and virtually we do not really see any outcome.
Yeah.
We were in this country when we saw John Peter Amewu, who was in that same ministry, went, did all the action, took all the needed actions. There were voices, there were videos of governments fight against illegal mining. But here we are today. The River Pra is getting polluted again. The Ankobra River is also getting polluted. Other forests reserves are also being mined in and all that. But joining us is the Director of Communications of the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, Ama Mausi, who would tell us details of what her outfit is doing and how many river bodies they have visited to ascertain the level of devastation so far as Galamsey is concerned. Good morning.
Good morning.
I trust you're doing well.
I am. How are you too?
I'm doing good. Let's find out from you, from your outfit, aside of the river Ankobra that we've seen that you've toured or you've visited, which other river bodies have your, or has your organization, that's the ministry, inspected to see the level of devastation when Galamsey comes to mind?
Okay. Good morning to your listeners. So, if you recall, months ago we commissioned the Blue Water Gas, an agency that the ministry had outdoors to basically serve as community vanguards across the major river bodies in the country, and for them to be able to monitor and then also ward off these illegal miners across these major water bodies. So, in terms of presence on the major river bodies, we have presence with the Blue Water Gas and with the NIMO. They work in conjunction with the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat, which we basically call the NIMO. So they work together with them to be able to conduct these patrols daily, constantly on the river body, and then also in the forest reserve.
But when you visited River Ankobra, behind what we are seeing on the screens, what was the engagement like with the people who are sort of embarking on this illegal act on the river body?
Okay, so for, like I said, because the Blue Water Gas and the NIMOS has been conducting the raids on these on the rivers, and then we keep getting reports on the number of makeshift structures they have destroyed and things like that. And the minister felt it wise for us to be able to go on the ground, actually, to be able to ascertain, what the actual impact of the work that they have been doing is, and also to be able to understand the magnitude of the devastation that we have. And from the tour yesterday, I think we went from Rioso all the way to Ankobra. We spent about 2.5 hours on the river, and there are several communities along the river. And for most of the communities that were around those areas, it looked as if it was they had come to get used to seeing the devastation. And if you heard what the regional minister had said, they will fetch the water and then put alarm on it, and then when it settles, they think it is good to go. And so we drove a lot of engagement on the ground with the community. We've also recently rolled out the Responsible Cooperative Mining and Skills Development Program, so we used the opportunity to also engage them on that, let them know, what the program entailed and how government was willing to assist them to be able to engage in mining responsibly and sustainably. With that said, the minister was very clear. We have given them time to be able to move their makeshift structures from along that area, because we are establishing permanent security across along those areas. And so in the next few days, they need to move. Because once we have permanent security, they have no excuse as to why they are still there, and we are going to be with it.
All right. So, Amma, how bad is it?
It is bad. It's alarming. We've had several reports, water treatment plants being shut down, and the salinity levels are through the roof. It is alarming. The river Ankobra spans about 190 kilometers, and with even the portion that we saw, it is alarming. And we have, unfortunately, we have all these, even licensed small-scale miners within about 100 meters close to the river, and they are washing and putting back into the river. And so the Minerals Commission is clear. Fortunately, yesterday we were with the acting CEO, the new acting CEO of the Minerals Commission, and we are clear that they are going to look at those licenses, possibly annul them. And we are going to also review that regulation of that 100 kilometers. And the minister mentioned it there yesterday to say, look, maybe at least we should do 100 meters, maybe we should do at least a kilometer. But that's something that immediately the team is working on, assessing the situation to be able to advise on what the best measures are. But it is alarming, and we should all be concerned.
We keep saying that soon we will get to the security officers there to be stationed there to guard the river and also to ensure that activities like illegal mining is not continued there. We would want to work with timelines or deadlines. Is that one from your ministry?
I can't give you a specific timeline yet, but I can say that it's going to be immediate.
Right. All right. So earlier you mentioned the blue water guards, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what sort of reports do they bring back to you people? What sort of menace have they encountered? Have they ever encountered the culprits? What do they see? Like, what goes on in there that they have to fight with every time?
So the blue water guards, basically, their job is not confrontational. Because they work with the neighboring, the Ghana Navy, the Reverend Command of the Ghana Navy. So basically, their job is to monitor the activities on ground and then report to the Navy, because we know that the Navy doesn't have permanent bases on all the river bodies. And because we recruit the blue water guards from the community, from the neighboring communities, they are closer. So it's easier for them to be able to report immediately, and then when they need backup, the Ghana Navy is able to assist. But occasionally, what they also do is, for ones that they are able to work on, for instance, when some of the miners spot them, they flee. So immediately they retrieve the machines, the chamfans that they use, the water pumps and things like that. And then for the chamfans, mostly they destroy them. Recently we sent about 900 water pumps to the Ministry of Agri that was disbursed to farmers. All of those 900 water pumps were coming from the work of the blue water guard. So that is basically what they do. They monitor the activities, they ward off the miners from the river bodies, and then also destroy equipment where they have to. The ones that they're able to retrieve, they retrieve, and then we also put them to better use.
Amma, you made mention of the fact that this is very bad, and we know that in recent times there's been a call that there should be a declaration of state of emergency. What is the ministry's stance on the declaration of the state of emergency? Will you say that after saying all this, you would push for that?
So we have said, I think the ministry and the government has been clear on that, and the president was clear on that. The state of emergency is going to be the last resort. We are rolling out several measures. We are seeing that the measures we are seeing results with the measures. What we need to do is to beef up the measures that we have implemented, and that's exactly what we are doing. And so, I said earlier, in the coming days, you would see, an increased pace in the work that we are doing. It's also important to note that whilst we are talking about all of these things, we are clear to say that we are not against mining. People want to engage in the activity of mining, and there are rules and regulations regarding the mining activity. And that is why it's important that while we are driving sensitization, we are driving education, we also provide alternatives, which is why we have rolled out the Responsible Cooperative Mining and Skills Development Program. So like I said yesterday, we have engaged the miners or the people that we saw in the community, explained the concept to them for them to buy into it. Once we have rolled out all of these things and we have done what we need to do, and people are still recalcitrant, then we will take it a step further. But I think for now, the measures that we have put in place are working, and and that's what we're sticking to.
All right. So, lastly, before you go, I just want to ask. Well, before I ask that, we know people have come with so many strategies of how to deal with galamsey. Sometimes they even start. Cameras follow them around. We hear voices of politicians. We hear voices of other people, all to fight, galamsey, or we even watch some of these things. There's a bit of action, and then everybody gets excited about it, and then it just goes down like that. What's the reassurance that this is not one of those things happening, like, where you pump us, tell us everything is going to be all right, and then some months later, it just dwindles down? What's the reassurance that this is going to go through till the end?
I think if you followed from the beginning of this government's administration, right from day one, we have been transparent with the people of Ghana, and we have said that, look, we are under no illusion that this is going to be done in a day or two. And so we have taken the people of Ghana along. And right from the beginning, we said we need to be transparent, and we need to work with the people of Ghana. Let them see what exactly it is that we are dealing with. So we have provided constant updates on the things that we are doing, and as we go along, we keep taking the people of Ghana along through the help of the media, and that's exactly what we are doing. We don't believe that it's a one-size-fits-all, and we don't believe that one solution is able to solve the many. And which is why, if you look at our strategy, it's a multiple-pronged approach. We need to be able to, as we are engaging stakeholders, we are also reforming, the regulations that we have. Recently, we have reviewed the entire mining regulations, the Mining and Minerals Act, the mining policy, all of those things under review with extensive stakeholder management, stakeholder engagement, because we believe that we need to be able to tackle it from all levels. We are enhancing law enforcement, which is why we have brought all the security agencies together in a coordinated approach, which is why we have the National Anti-Illegal Miners Operations Secretariat. And then we are also providing alternatives, and we are also reclaiming, the degraded land. So it's not a one-size-fits-all. We need to approach it from multiple angles to be able to get to the root cause of the matter. And as we go along, I think in the last 8 or so months, Ghanaians have seen the commitment of this government and the president to be able to solve this. So we will keep taking you along. We will keep deploying, the strategy that we have, and we will see the results.
Amamausi Monyefia, grateful for your time, and she's the Director of Communications for the Lands and Natural Resources Ministry. She's spoken extensively about this. We'll be following keenly. As we keep saying, our cameras will be everywhere.
Yeah.
Chris?
Well, we've heard her speak, and we just want the action to continue.
I like the last question.
Yeah,
it shouldn't just be for
it always
pump
starts.
And pageantry.
Always
for
starts.
The media.
It's on social media. It's on the media. It's on the newspapers everywhere. Then next thing it just dwindles down and back again. I mean, then we turn back again. We are back to square one. Recycling. Fighting galamsey. Why it should just end once and for all.
Once and for all.
You understand? Because right now the lives of people are actually at stake. It has gone from an environmental problem to a health menace. Whether we like it or not, this is a very serious health issue. And, he talked about, the regional minister talked about people fishing. Imagine some of these fishes are what they actually sell to us to eat.
By the kinky joint.
You understand?
And you enjoy
it. Which is, so it's like fried toxins. So you take the kinky, you take the fried fish garnished with toxins.